Hey everybody, welcome back to Beautiful You. I want to talk to you about loving yourself. It's basically everything that I always talk about boils down to being able to love yourself. I was looking for a quote or something to kind of help me have a more organized way to deliver my message to you today. And actually, what I found was pretty awesome. I went ahead and signed up for the newsletter, and it's on a site called mindherway.com. Mindherway.com. And while I don't agree with, or while I'm not sure if I agree with everything she says or not, well, actually, I don't specifically agree with everything, but there's still some really amazing things that she has to offer. And what she says really helped me put my message better into words for you. And I found her on Pinterest. So if you want to go there, or you could just go to her website, www.mindherway.com. But loving yourself is really important, and I don't even think that we even understand how much we actually don't love ourselves, how much we don't love ourselves, and how many of us do not love ourselves. We don't. And part of it is, I think part of it is because we stay caught up in the world and life so much that we kind of forget, or we don't realize that we're not loving ourselves. So I just really wanted to give you some things to think about. These are from her website, but I picked and chose the things that I also believe and agree with. And so I believe most things are changed from within, and some of the most important things are within us. So one thing that's really important is to accept your own flaws. We all have flaws. Every single person you deal with has flaws. Your spouse or mate or a dog or children or parents or siblings or friends all have flaws. But yet some of us still think that we are supposed to be perfect. How can we even think that? Like, it doesn't even make logical sense when you break it down and think about it, but that is exactly what a lot of us do. We think we have to be perfect when everybody else around us has flaws. So, one huge way to work towards learning to love yourself is to accept your flaws. I mean, if you can't accept your flaws, then honestly, I don't believe in using the word can't, and that was something I was going to say in a little bit. If the word can't is a big word in your vocabulary, I think that making change with that word being a big word in your vocabulary is not very easy to do. If you are unable to understand how much you can do, and you limit yourself with the word can't, then just don't expect yourself to have a lot of peace and happiness. I don't think when you limit yourself like that. We definitely can. We definitely can. We can do whatever we want to, anything we want to. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to understand that we can make change in our lives on our own. No matter what resources that you have or don't have, you can make your own changes in life. It's very simple. It's as simple as believing that you can. And so you believe in yourself, you accept your flaws. Whatever decisions you make, own them. These are all things that I've actually talked about before in videos Not everybody was here for all of them, but I really like this girl's blog or website, mindherway.com, because it's a lot of the things that I've already been talking about. I definitely want to give her credit because I think what she has is pretty awesome, and you could see things in writing. I just have videos mostly, or that's all I have. So I want you to have something else, if you really want to make a change in your life. I want you to have everything you need to be able to do it. And but the things that she has on her website are things that I've used and talked about here as ways to improve your life. But if you make a decision and it was a bad decision, so what? It was your decision at the time. You probably did the best thing you knew to do. And if you didn't, and you knew it was a bad decision and you did it anyways, then it's important to understand what the consequences were that came from that decision, so that the next time you have an opportunity to make a good decision and you make a bad decision, you'll think twice and maybe you'll make a better decision next time. But if you don't own your decisions, you can't change it. If you're a victim, you have no power to change your life, and you give all your power away when you're a victim. So own your decisions, own your life, and understand that you do have the power to change it. If you don't want to change it because it's hard work, that's fine. Own that decision. There's nothing wrong with it, but own it, because that's just the way it is. I mean, why would you continue to lie to yourself? I mean, you're wasting your time watching this channel and looking at things like this if you are going to if you're going to limit yourself, and if you're not going to be open and honest with yourself. You can't make a change if you're not. And so accept your flaws, own your decisions, avoid toxic people. That is the truth. While I really don't like to utilize outside forces much, I prefer to use and utilize internal ideas and things. It is very important that you avoid toxic people. You will drop down to whatever level of people that you hang around, and you will rise up to whatever level of people that you hang around. So be careful who you hang around. And if you are around people, even if it's your spouse, your children, your parents, who are constantly telling you negative things about yourself, then you are going to have a really hard time changing your mindset. So avoid toxic people at every chance possible. There's no place for them if you want to learn to love yourself. Another very important thing, I've said this a bunch of times before too, is you have to forgive yourself. You have to. You can't change it. Not forgiving yourself is not going to accomplish anything. You have to forgive yourself. Sometimes forgiving ourselves is the hardest person to forgive. It's our own selves. So you got to forgive yourself. You got to find a way to do that. No one in this life is perfect. Don't expect yourself to be. You got to believe in yourself. You are so much more than you believe. So much more. But if you don't believe that, you're never going to realize that. You're so much more than you believe. And stopping yourself from reaching your potential is done by things like using the word can't. I can't go outside today and enjoy the fresh air because of whatever. I mean, if you're imprisoned and you physically can't, which prisons have outdoor areas, but anyways, if you physically can't, you can't. But what I mean is, I can't go outside today because I have too much to do. You could afford to spend 5 minutes. Anybody can find 5 minutes in their day to spend outside and soak in some vitamin D, fresh oxygen, and nature if it's important to you. So don't limit yourself by using the word can't. That was a silly example, but it's an important one, because the way that we limit ourselves, the ways that we limit ourselves are endless, and we don't even realize it. It's just a normal, natural thing for us to be like, oh yeah, I can't do that today. I don't have time. Yes, you can. You can make time if you really want to. Don't use the word can't. Say instead, I'm not going to go outside today because I have all these things that I am doing. But don't say can't. It's totally different the way your brain hears. When your brain hears you say you can't do something, your brain automatically starts seeing things in a different way. When you say I can't, it's detrimental to you. So don't use that word. Also, be kind to other people was the last thing that I got off of her website, mindherway.com. Be kind to others. I realized the other day when I was leaving, I was a little bit irritated or feeling negative about somebody. I don't remember even what the situation was. And I was, I was walking out to go do something. I was walking out to go do my job as a nurse, actually. And I started a long time ago a practice of praying before work and asking God to help me continue to learn, but while also keeping my patients safe. And so I was headed to work, and it just came in my mind to say a little prayer, because I've made that a regular routine of mine through forcing myself to do it at first. Not that I had to force myself, but making myself do it every day as a way to help me. And now it's just become so natural. It's second nature to me to say a little prayer. And so the other day when I was irritated or whatever, I was heading to work, and it just came to my mind, go ahead and say a little prayer. And when I prayed, another thing that I do a lot is I struggle with judging others a lot, and I don't want to. And I've gotten much better at it. And it's just a matter of becoming aware, as most things in life are. But one of the ways that one of the tactics I've used to help myself not be so judgmental is, one of my prayers is to say, thank you. Please, God, help me see people through your eyes, hear them through your ears, and you speak through my mouth. And every time I say that prayer, it softens my heart. Thereby, I literally feel my heart soften. I was taking care of a patient one time, and he was so nasty. But when I say nasty, I mean verbally, and the things that he did. His behaviors were so nasty. He was so hard to take care of. I dreaded having to see him. And I started saying this prayer, and I remember one time I was with him, and it was when I was a hospice nurse, and he was dying because, well, all of us are, but some of us faster than others, and some of us are closer than others. And he, of course, was, getting close, and he was still being so nasty. And I remember I was standing over him, and as I looked down on him, all of a sudden, that thought came through my brain to where I had asked God to help me see people through his eyes. And I literally looked down at him. I have goosebumps right now just saying this. I looked down at him, and it just, boom, hit me through God's eyes. Not to say that I'm God or anything like that, but it was like I felt in my heart how I think in my human way that God must feel when he sees us. He loves us no matter our flaws, no matter our things that we've done. He loves us. And when I saw that person, and that thought came to my mind to see people through his eyes, like, it just came to me. It was such a weird experience, and I'll never forget it. But it automatically softened my heart instantaneously. And it made me have so much better of a day, because instead of allowing him to get to me because of his nasty behavior, instead of allowing him to get to me, think about how much I didn't like him and all these different things, instead I felt love for him. And in turn, that made my heart bigger. Like, it was just amazingly powerful. And being kind to others is what does that. So I just implore you to love others. It's hard, but the more you love others, the kinder you are to others, you will find the kinder you can be to yourself. The more you forgive others, the more you can forgive yourself. These things are so important if you really truly want to find peace and happiness. So I'm happy to be able to give you that website and give her credit. Although a lot of the things that she says are things that I have said in different ways in the past, but I subscribe to her and after going to her website, and I just want to make sure I give credit where credit's due. So I hope this has been helpful for you, and it's just start with just one thing of the list that I said of things, which I'll say it again really quickly. Accept your flaws. Number 2, own your decisions. Number 3, avoid toxic people. Number 4, forgive yourself. Number 5, believe in yourself. In parentheses, don't limit yourself by using the word can't. And number 6, be kind to others. But those things are so powerful. Don't think about what people did to you. It's done. You can't change it. Just be kind and reap the rewards. They're amazing. You are beautiful, you, and you can do this. You just got to believe that you can.